Always take advice with a grain of salt. But there are some pieces of advice that you should totally ignore, because this advice could be quite detrimental and damaging to your life if you take them seriously. There are many issues with bad advice. Of course, bad advice is bad, but bad advice has what we know as confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when you seek evidence to support a previously held notion. Someone gives you advice and all of a sudden you begin to seek out experiences to match up that advice. It is a bias because the advice is not necessarily true. But because you are now looking for evidence to make that advice true, you can deceive yourself. All the advice I'm going to talk about in this video, they have two things in common. Number one, they oversimplify complex and complicated situations. They make it seem like it's simple and it's just surface level, when many times these situations are deeper. And if you miss the deeper levels in those situations, you are going to make horrible mistakes. Secondly, this advice, they sound good in theory. At face value, when you hear them, it sounds deep, it sounds reasonable, but there's no depth to it. You actually cannot do anything without it. That's what makes these pieces of advice that I want you to avoid like the plague very bad for you. Number one, be yourself. How many times have you heard someone tell you this? You know, what's the secret of a great relationship? Just be yourself. What? Horrible. No. Why would you just be yourself? Before someone tells you to just be yourself, the question is, do you know yourself? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Everyone has them. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Now imagine that my weakness is horrible. I don't know. Imagine my weakness is like I'm lazy and I'm very lazy and I can't motivate myself to do anything. That's my weakness. You tell me to just be yourself. Be yourself. You will figure it will come naturally to you. That's a lie, because if naturally my natural self is lazy, my natural self is unmotivated, and being myself is only going to lead me one direction, to failure. Okay, so you shouldn't be yourself. Before you decide to be yourself, you need to ask yourself many questions. What are my strengths and weaknesses? Do I know my strengths and weaknesses? What am I doing to manage my weaknesses and to strengthen my strength? Ask yourself, what are my current beliefs and mindsets, and are they serving me? Look at yourself in the last few years. Have you liked what you have produced in your life? If yes, then go ahead and be yourself. If no, then you need to stop being yourself, because the outcome of being yourself is that you maintain status quo. If you be yourself, you remain the type of person that you are at the level that you are for the rest of your life. Depending on who you are right now, that could be a good or a bad thing. If you don't like where you currently are now, do not be yourself. When we give birth to babies, we expect babies to grow. A baby comes out of the womb crying, screaming every single time they have any mild inconvenience. Tell the baby to be themselves. No. As the baby grows and develops, a time will come, parents will expect the child to communicate their needs instead of crying and whining. The baby is expected to grow, and that's how life is. We as human beings are expected to grow. I am expected to know something, to know better and do better than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's how you're supposed to live your life. You go through life to gain experiences. You gain experiences by your lived experience, by watching videos like this, by reading books, by asking questions. And you're meant to take that experience, the advice you are getting, and become a better version of yourself. And the honest truth about life is that in every new season of life that you are in, you would need to become a better version of yourself. So let's say you are single, you do not have kids, you are not married. The minute you get married and start having kids, you would need to become a better version of yourself. You can't say, oh, just be yourself. Yourself is you watch TV for 5 hours a day. You can't do that when you have a family, you have children, all that. You have to become a better version of yourself. This is true every new level. You get a great job, you're trying to build wealth and become a millionaire and achieve financial freedom. You have to be a better version of yourself. So the be yourself advice is crap, oversimplified advice that you should completely avoid if you are going anywhere in life. Advice number 2 that you should run away from is everything happens for a reason. Have you heard that before? You've probably heard that before. Something bad happens to you, you fail an exam, something bad happens, and someone tells you, you know what, it's fine. Everything happens for a reason. This is one of those advice that it sounds like sage wisdom. Like it sounds really deep. It sounds like it means something, and it does. But the question is that, is it actionable? Because sometimes the reason why something happened is because you made a bad decision, actually. And I think this advice, it helps us to avoid accountability. You feel that something happened to you that was negative. Yes, everything happens for a reason. That's true. The question is, what was the reason? Was it you? Was it something that you could have controlled? Could you have made a better decision? Could you have made a better choice? Could you have worked harder? Could you have studied more? Could you have said no? Could you have set boundaries? Just taking the advice of everything happens for a reason prevents you from doing the growth work, from doing the personal development work to prevent it from happening again. Everything happens for a reason, but it can happen again. So instead of taking this advice of everything happens for a reason, don't stress it. No, take time to manage your emotions and feel, and be in a good mental state. But when you are in a good mental state, get into the habit of examining your life, of reviewing your experiences. Why did this happen? Why did I lose that job? Why did I fail this exam? Why did I get this performance review? Why did I end this relationship? Examine the things that happened in your life and the parts that you played in those things. And take accountability for that part, for the role that you played in that thing happening. Try your best to do better next time. Because if you don't examine your life, if you don't take accountability, if you don't do better next time, that thing will keep happening. It will keep happening to you. Not for a reason. You will become the reason. Trash that advice immediately. Another advice, number 3, what belongs to you will come to you. I'm a Christian. I'm wearing a cross on my neck. So I believe in God. I believe that God causes things to happen. But I also know you always have a part to play in everything that comes in your life. You always have a part to play. It can be a simple thing you need to do. It can be a major thing you need to do. But most of the good things that come to you in life, you will need to do the work to actually get it done. So let's say, for example, you are trying to get a job. Someone can, send you the job announcement like, oh, Google is hiring for this position. But you still need to fill in the application and show up for the interview, crush it at the interview, and write the test to get the position. You still need to do all that. So what belongs to you will come to you. Only breeds laziness. It takes away a major part that all human beings have and that is crucial to making any form of progress, which is self-agency. The knowledge that you have control over your life and you can direct your life in the path you want your life to go. So just believing that everything comes to you for a reason. If you've not gotten something, it's because it's not a time for you to get it. There's some things in life that may be true about, maybe things like relationships or having children or things like that. But other things like saving money, having an emergency fund, getting a job, starting a business, those are things that you can action, that you can take control of and do something about. Number 4, do what you love. Follow your passion. This advice, don't come for me. It's very popular. People say it. Find what you love. Do what you love. That's the best way to be happy. And it's true, it's true. Steve Jobs himself said it. He said, find what you love and you will not work a day in your life. And I respect Steve Jobs. And he was a very successful person. So we can take his advice with more than a grain of salt. But the honest truth is that many times your passion may not line up with what you do. If you ask me, I really like watching TV. I enjoy it. I enjoy being on TikTok and seeing people dance hours. If you let me do it. That is my passion. I like to eat. I like to sleep. I like to do other random things. I'm passionate about those things. That's what I love. Should I make a career from eating? Should I make a career, from watching TV? Come on. Many people do not have the time and the money to follow the passions. And the bad thing about passions is that they are fleeting. You may be passionate about something today, and 5 years from now, your passion has shifted. I'll say this advice is more like orange, it's not so bad. Take the advice and socialize it with where you are in life. If you are still at the level where you are trying to meet your basic needs, you don't have savings, you don't have assets, you are not in a good financial position, this is bad advice. This is horrible advice for you. The true thing you need to do is you need to find something that you are good at, or find something that you can be good at, and then do that thing really well. Deliver value, and that way you have enough money, you can meet your needs. And when you're in a good financial position, then you can follow your passion, then do what you love. This YouTube channel is a passion project for me. I really like to talk. I also really like to learn things. So this YouTube channel is a perfect place for me. I get to learn things and I get to talk about the things that I'm learning. But this is not my day job. I'm not getting paid from YouTube, but I'm doing it. And this is, for me, how I like to take this advice. I do what I need to do. I do my job, my career, which I also absolutely love, by the way. And then I have my passions. I love interior design. I love talking on the internet. I like reading books. I like eating. I do them on the side. I do them on the weekend. I do them when I have a time, when there's a public holiday. That's when I do them. The key is balance. Do what you need to do to be able to live the kind of life that you want to live. That's the better advice. What kind of life do you want to live? Start there. And then do whatever you need to do to be able to live that life. Your passion may not be paying you enough money to live that life. Your passion may be acting. Because there's a lot of competition in that industry, you may not be at the place where you where you want to be, you can still keep doing it. You can still keep making shows and doing small shows. But you also need to be able to, I don't know, pick up a second job, do something else that will finance the kind of life that you need to live right now. Finance your trips for your acting passion, finance your clothes, finance food, finance you being able to live a regular life without being a burden to somebody else on the earth. And the last one is very similar to the previous one, and this is what Steve Jobs actually said. He said, do what you love and you will never work a day in your life. This advice is actually true. Do what you love. It will not feel like work, but it does not mean that you will not work a day in your life. And I've seen people take this advice literally. I myself have been deceived by this advice. I've believed in the past that if I find what I love, then it should not be stressful. And what I found about this advice, because I tried it, is if you take this advice at face value, do what you love and you start doing it well, when it gets hard, when you have to burn the late night hours and you have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, you may experience a sense of disillusionment where you are like, it shouldn't be this hard. It's supposed to be fun. This is a hobby for me. This is something that I love. It's not meant to feel like work. And what I learned quickly is that this is not true. Everybody that you see that is successful, everybody, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs himself, who gave this advice, everybody that you see that is successful at something, they work really hard. That's something that you don't know until you're actually in those spaces. These people work really hard. And how you know? You can read their books. Read Steve Jobs' biography, read Elon Musk's biography, and I've read them. I know. I read biographies a lot because I like to see into the behind the scenes of some of these successful people. They work really, really hard. I mean, insanely hard. Harder than most people. And that way of working is one reason why they are very successful. Many of them. So when someone like that tells you, find what you love and you will not have to work a day in your life, just know that it is a mindset. You will work very hard. If you are trying to be very successful, the way these guys have been very successful, it is hard work. You will work late hours. You will be away from your family. You will not be in comfortable situations all the time. It's not for everyone, but it is real. And I think many people get deceived by this advice all the time. You see people on YouTube living the life that you want, and they make it look so easy. Because of that, you believe that, you know what? They are living the dream. If I just follow my passion, it will be easy for me as well. No. There's a level of abstraction. Just know that. Whenever you are seeing people on the internet, millionaires, billionaires giving you advice, there is a level of abstraction in that advice that you are not seeing. It's like a duck on the water. On the surface, they look like they're gliding, but underneath, they are paddling like their life depends on it. So, this advice is not bad, but take the advice and understand what is going on underneath it. Understand what is going on underneath it. If you find what you love, you would love it. But the trick is to love the process. Love the hard work. And I said that the hard work is essential. It's like having a child. A woman has a child and she loves that child. It's hard work. She loses sleep. She has to breastfeed, which is painful. She has to go through labor to deliver the child. She goes through lots of hard work, hard things to bring that child to life and to keep that child alive for many years. Does she love it? Yes. It's rewarding. It's a rewarding process, but is it also hard work? Absolutely yes. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know which of this advice, have you fallen victim of, or share in the comment section below other good advice that may not work for most people. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.